Jonah, you'll lead on this one. Immigration enforcement has direct implications for Utah businesses and agriculture. What is your position on state-level cooperation
to make sure that people come here legally and responsibly, but that those visas do not take away good American paying jobs, right? We need to push that forward.
Yeah, so I think we can all agree that when it comes to immigration policy, it's a federal problem and it's a mess. Federal government just needs to put on their big boy suit and fix this, right? Utah, about 10 years ago, fixed this, right? Utah, about 10 years ago, passed the Utah Compact. We asked the federal government to allow us to control our own visas, to allow us to work with our local businesses.
I appreciate that we want to open up the door wider, but we need the door. I appreciate that we want to open up the door wider, but we need the door to be more secure when it comes to immigration here in the United States. I don't believe that Utah should have the effect to be able to allow immigrants into the state. I think that that's a federal.
Jonah.
Well, first of all, I just want polio. The first is local control. Polio. The first is local control. Whether that's housing, growth, education, transportation, infrastructure, those answers are going to be made best by people closest to the people. We need local oversight by people closest to the people. We need local oversight, not government overreach. The second is fiscal reform. We have to continue cutting taxes. We have to infrastructure. Corridor preservation, we have to have planning in all of the infrastructure. Corridor preservation, we have to have planning in all of those areas. We can't wait for the crisis to arrive. Effective leadership means planning today for the generation that comes. Now, ultimately, the person you vote for needs to be somebody that strengthens the conservative team that's going to guide our state's policy. Someone that is recognized by their peers as the most
thing that we can identify tonight is integrity. Is integrity from legislators that are going to do the job for Utahns. This year in the legislature alone, and I was hoping that this would come up in a few questions, and I'm just going to be frank, passed legislation that expanded medical data. Utahns are feeling more hopeless than they've ever felt before. I talked with a father who was suicidal because his prescription medicine was $1,000. That same thing that cost $300 in a European country. There are ways that we can change the ability of this state to function. But we have to have leaders who are qualified and understanding that we have to push forward. If we don't push forward in that new direction and we continue down the same path, we are going to continue to have hopelessness across the state. We are going to continue to have ways that it's not working and not functioning. If it was working, I wouldn't be standing here today. And that's why I'm asking for your vote. Thank you. What legislators like to do is they like to look at the goodness in their record. And I think that that's an important thing. And in Utah politics, when we look at the negative parts of their records, that's when they start yelling and they say, we don't have decorum. I thought this was going to be a good debate. I thought this was going to be something that we could be civil about. But the truth is we have to look at all parts of the record of our legislators. And that's what I'm doing here today. And I'd be glad to come to your home and explain that same part that he would as well. Thank you.
Okay, before we go, and one other